If you can hear people just like pounding up and down the stairs, it's because the stairs are right here and someone is moving in or out today. Not sure, but it's very loud. Hi! So, I know what you're all thinking. Kaye finally did her part 2! Or it's part 3! Kaye is actually keeping up with her part 3 video, yay! Well, I am. I'm going to talk to you today about how to market your poetry. So when it comes to marketing poetry, social media is a gold mine. Especially with the success of Instagram and Pinterest for kind of circulating new poets. Recently, it has been absolutely critical that you have some kind of a social media presence where you actually put out work. You can use platforms like your own blog, like Tumblr. Those have not generated the same level of success. Now, it has generated some success. The one who comes to mind is Clementine von Radix. She managed to land a traditional publishing deal through her Tumblr platform, which is great. It's kind of a sinking ship, aren't they all? But Instagram, of course, is where Ruby Carr was discovered. One of the top selling poets in the world right now. But another thing is Twitter. Twitter actually has a really thriving poetry community, and it's a really good one to try and get in with. Either way, the number one rule when marketing your poetry is nobody buys poetry books unless they have already heard of the poet or read the poems that are in it. It's just the way it is. Nobody is going to look at a poetry book and be like, okay, that sounds like something I might read. It's not as common as, say, if you were selling a fantasy book and people were like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. It's not as common with poetry. I mean, it happens. I'm the type of person who likes to just pick up random poetry books and enjoy them, but it's not common still. So where do people go to read poetry? Well, Instagram and Pinterest are very popular for them. I am not good at either of those. On my Instagram, you will primarily find pictures of my cats. That's what I like to post there. However, on my Tumblr, I post lots of poetry. On my blog, I've posted some poetry. And here on YouTube, I have posted poetry. I have an entire playlist of my poetry, which I'm going to be adding to some more because I realized I have not actually read that many poems aloud. So I'd like to read a whole lot more for you. Other good ways to promote your poetry in the social media realm is to do readings. Either to go physically to readings, which is a fantastic way to network, or to do readings aloud on, say, YouTube. There are really, and you can combine them. There are great platforms for doing your readings at a space and then having them uploaded, which is how I find a lot of new poets that I really love. Photos are also a good way, especially if you have already published a poetry collection or if you happen to have been published in a literary journal. A photo of the poem in the pages can look really cool if you're a little artistic, especially if you're trying to promote over on Tumblr. That's a great way to get people interested in your poetry because them seeing and enjoying your poetry is the #1 way they're going to decide to purchase your poetry in the future. Also, continue to publish poetry. Publish with literary journals. The more often your name comes up alongside one of your pieces of work, the better. And the more literary journals you're published in, the more often people are going to see your name, associate it with good poetry, and want to buy your work. So once you've published a collection of poetry, keep writing new poems and continue to send those out to try and get them published in literary magazines. Now, of course, the order of operations here is literary magazines want fresh work. So you're going to want to publish new work with them that has never been published anywhere before, never been posted online, anywhere. Publish with them first. Once the poem's rights have reversed back to you, which they must, make sure that you get the rights back after publication for any work that you ever publish. Once the rights have returned to you, you can, with giving them their due for having published you first, then take and publish the poem on your blog, etc., or put it into your next book. But then you have some publishing credit to go along with that. That is a great way to get your name out there because people are continuing to read your work. This is a long game. If you want to publish poetry, you're going to have published hundreds of poems before people really start paying attention and associating your name with your style. Sometimes it might happen a little bit easier, but oftentimes the more poetry you continue to publish, the better off. You can also reach out to people for reviews politely. Once you've reached out, You need a hands off. If you would like somebody to review your work, very politely offer them your collection. And if they say no, if they say nothing, leave it at that. You should, if you are reaching out to somebody, be prepared to offer them a physical copy of the book. Most people are okay getting ebook copies, but a lot of people prefer to read the physical copy. Also, it is a lot politer to go into a relationship such as asking someone to help promote you, offering them an actual physical copy that is then theirs to keep. It just starts you off on the right foot. So make sure you politely ask, go through their email if there's someone who does promote poetry. Don't go to just any book blogger, any booktuber, or any bookstagrammer. Go to someone who already likes poetry and who might be willing to review your poetry book. Go through whatever method they set up as the way they want to be contacted for that. Usually email. Some people like you sliding into their DMs. It depends. Find that out first and then very politely write them short and sweet message. Doesn't need to be pages and pages long. You don't need to sing their praises. Just polite, to the point, respectful. If they say nothing, fine. Don't pressure them to read it. Once they have it, as hands off as you can be, the better. No, you're not going to probably get a lot of good response back. It's just the way of the world. People are busy. And poetry doesn't vibe with everyone. A poet who you think you have a very similar style to might think you really don't and might not like your collection. It is not in your best interest to pester the person. Let them decide if they want to review it and how they want to review it, and then keep moving on. Now, good people to actually pester, though, would be like friends and family. If they've read your collection and told you they like it, remind them that you would like them to review it on Amazon and Goodreads. And then when they don't, remind them again. Always be gentle and polite. Remember that when someone is reviewing something for you, they're doing you a favor. They're helping you market. But asking people who already like your work to, hey, maybe give me a little help here by starting off the reviews in a positive light, there's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead and ring out in the comments, because I know that marketing is not my strong point. I hated the small time I worked in sales. It is not for me. I do not like pressuring other people to buy something they might not like. So marketing is not my strong point. I have no background in it because I disliked it so much. But these are things that I've seen work amazingly for other poets and which have helped me quite a bit. If you happen to have any other tips, or you happen to be like killing it on some platform with poetry sales, let us know down in the comments or link us to one of your videos where you talk about how to market your poetry. There's not enough current information out there. Poetry industry has just been on a whirlwind turn in the past like 5 years. And to be honest, I'm having trouble keeping up with it. It is just like taking off in a direction that is totally different from everything I learned when I was going to college. Any information anyone else has to share also would be very helpful, but these are some of the tips and tricks that I have learned over the years or that I have seen working great for other people that I wanted to share with you about how to market your poetry. I'm Kaye Spivey, and good luck to all of us. Bye!